Right then, Azio's latest mechanical keyboard, the Cascade, is an awesome keyboard for beginner level customizing with some surprising features for the price. So there's two 75% 84 key versions you can choose from and two initial colors with more on the way. I've got the standard size space gray here, but there's also a slim version if you prefer a more compact design. Now, the case, or top plate, if you will, is aluminum and has this angled trapezoid shape with two-stage risers on the bottom, which is plastic, but overall, it's a very solid keyboard with a weight of 748 grams. Now, on the back of the board, you can see we've got some toggle switches. So we've got both Bluetooth 5.0 as well as wired connection options. We can switch between Mac and PC layouts, and we've got a USB-C port. The top of the board features OEM-style die-subbed ABS shine-through keycaps, which look pretty generic if I'm being honest. Like, I'd be surprised if you couldn't find this exact set on AliExpress. Now, some of the legends look nice and sharp, and some are a little fuzzy. But this is a pre-production sample unit, so the legends might improve a bit when it goes into full production. We've got north-facing RGB LEDs, and they look fine with 5 steps of brightness, although it only has 4 modes and 8 colors to choose from. Not the end of the world, but worth noting if you're particular about your RGB. Okay, now for the interesting stuff. You'll be able to pick between blue, brown, yellow, or red Gateron G Pro switches. All the pre-production units that were sent out to reviewers came with brown switches, which I think most of the keyboard modding community tries to stay clear of and replaces with something else as soon as possible. But all the switches except for the blues are pre-lubed at the factory. Very lightly lubed, but lubed. Which lube? I have no idea. Almost looks and feels like some sort of oil. Either way, they're a big improvement over non-lubed Gateron browns. Now, I have no clue what brand the PCB mounted screw and stabilizers are from, but while they are heavily lubed with what looks like dielectric grease, they either need some tuning or the Band-Aid mod, because they're still a little rattly. I mean, they're honestly not that bad, but I know the Band-Aid mod would completely silence them. Removing the top plate is nice and easy with some standard Phillips head screws, and underneath that top plate, we've got a nice foam layer that lays on top of the PCB for some sound dampening, and then on the base, we've got this awesome thick layer of silicone for even more acoustic isolation. Like, these are things you don't normally see from the factory on sub $200 boards, so that's pretty rad. Now, underneath the silicone layer is the 4000 milliamp hour battery. Battery life is gonna be different for everyone, especially between gamers and typists, but for me it usually lasts about a week plus a few days with the backlighting at max, depending on if I've been gaming a little or a lot. Now, taking a look at the white PCB, one thing I did want to point out was the rough cuts on the edges. I know it's a pre-production board, but I sure hope that's sorted out by the time they start shipping. Anyways, we've got Kale hot swappable switch sockets, so if you don't like the switches you ordered it with, you can always easily swap them out for something a little more premium. But have a listen and let me know in the comments if that's something you'd even want to do. So for 160 bucks, I think Azio did a good job with this keyboard. I like the added foam and silicone layer so that all you really need to do is swap out for some higher quality switches if you wanted, add a nice set of keycaps, plus maybe even do the Band-Aid mod to the stabilizers, and you'll end up with a pretty nice keyboard. Anyways, I'll have a link in the description so you can check it out a bit more, but that's gonna do it for this one. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Cheers.